Hi, everyone. My name is Lisa Wiliiams, and this is my co-host. Actually, I'm not quite sure which side she's on. All right, Torunn, introduce yourself because you are from Norway.
Hi everyone, I'm Torunn Anthonsen from Norway, and I'm so pleased to work with Lisa Wiliiams today. And we are going to talk about 2024, and we have also drawn a card for you about this year. So, what's your card, Lisa?
Well, actually, I haven't drawn it, but let me just see what comes up. Yeah, we were
I
asked
have
to.
one.
Oh, you were. Oh,
Oh, it's about money. It's about the financial, and it's also something to do with it will be a little hard time economic. So what do you think about that?
yeah. So it's interesting because I had just the work card just literally come out. So I think it's going to be hard work, but let's let's just tell everybody what we're doing today.
Yeah.
Today we have been asked to actually come on and give us our predictions for 2024, which I will be honest with you, as a psychic medium, is really scary because now it's all eyes on us. What if we get it wrong? And so, there's a lot of things that I saw, and I'm sure Turin has seen a lot of other things, and we're just going to have a conversation about it. But it's interesting that you got the money or the wealth, and I also got the work. So here we go. All right. So there were some things that you were asked to talk about on with the magazine. They asked you some questions, but I think let's just free flow with it, shall we?
Yes, we just
Okay.
start. And I really want, when we talk about 2024 and everything that's going to happen, for me, it's really important also to give you the good news and a lot of hope and healing for that year, so you have something to look forward to. But of course, will also be some negative experience that year, as all years.
Yes, I agree. So shall we get the negative stuff out of the way?
Yeah. We start with this one then.
Yeah, let's start with that one. So it's interesting because Turin and I haven't actually spoken about what we were going to talk about. We were just like, I was sitting just before and getting some ideas, and I kept feeling as though the economy, you had mentioned the economy, but I felt as though what we were going to do is, I want to say towards the back end of the year, that the economy is going to struggle. And I felt honestly that we had to ride the wave of this, because, and I'm in America, even though I've got an English accent, but I felt as though it was going to be a kind of a global discovery, which is interesting because I kept feeling as though it kind of rides the war with the political and the current climate between Russia and Ukraine. And I felt as though it had it had a massive impact. So I do feel as though something about the Ukraine and Russia is going to come to a close, or come to some form of, I won't say a head, but there's going to be some definite change in that and some political unrest. And then I feel as though it's going to cause an economic struggle throughout the world in a way. But we have to ride this wave. That's the negative part that I got.
Yes, and I also have this feeling that the war will come to an end, and I have a strong feeling about May, that a change will happen in May. And in Norway, especially, I think the economic will be a bit difficult in the beginning of the year, and then I think it will be more balanced after that. And for you that are thinking about buying a house or a cabin or something like that, just wait a little, because I think the prices will be lower from October this year and into the spring next year. So if you want to buy something, you can use that half year to find a really nice place, because I think it will change again and be in Norway, the economics will be better after that.
Wow, because I actually felt as though everything was going to plummet, and that it would be the best time. So it's always a good time to do that. That's interesting because I actually picked that up. That was, that was fabulous. I love it. Now, what I also got in here was that at this same point, I want to talk about cryptocurrency because obviously we're talking about the economy, but I felt as though there was going to be an increase in cryptocurrency. And I felt for some reason there was going to be a stabilization. And I felt people were going to try to stabilize it. And I'm maybe talking from the US government side, but there was trying to be a stabilization, which I think is always going to be a little bit funny because obviously every form of currency fluctuates. But I do feel as though there's going to be a rise in cryptocurrency as well.
Yes, I agree. And I can't get my eyes away from that sign behind you. It says love. And for me, I think everything that's happening in the world at the moment will make people more aware about love and take care of each other and be kinder to each other. And because also we have to live different the next months, we really see what's important in life.
Yeah, I
And it's
agree.
something with the love between countries that will support each other in when we talk about the Ukraine war, people will support each other more,
Mhm.
and it will be not that distant from other countries. So I think
Yeah,
the word love is really special for 2024, really.
yeah. I do actually want to just hop on the back of that because I do feel that there is going to be, certainly where I live, a camaraderie of coming together. And I do feel that whatever is happening in the Ukraine and Russia is actually going to have a ripple effect throughout. And I feel like there may be talk of a battle somewhere else in the world, but actually I don't feel like it's going to get to that. I don't feel as though it is, and I do feel a camaraderie of people coming together, of folks coming together, of support, of like just being in support of each other. So I really like that because I feel like, we're in a world that is struggling anyway. Why why should we just, it's all about love. I'm glad that
Yes,
you're minded.
it is. And when we talk about love, I also feel the way we treat our animals will change to the better, because in Norway and maybe other countries are even worse than Norway, the way they treat some animals,
Oh,
and especially the animals people eat. And I know that 2024 it will be some new rules about how they treat those animals, and everything is for the better, and it will be what's the word, trendy, popular
yeah,
to not eat
popular.
so much meat.
Yes.
And it will be the young people that change this, the way we look at animals.
So do you think it'll be like a movement that will happen, like this
Yes,
real like
yes. I
revolution?
think it's a big movement, and everything has to do with this law, and that people are awakening more for the spirituality, the kindness, the
Hmm.
way to treat each other, and also that the animal have souls.
It's like a vibrational shift. That's what I was thinking. I felt as though there was this vibrational shift. You can see I'm dog lovers,
Yeah.
animal lovers, but it's like I felt as though there was a vibrational shift that was going to be happening. And there's a lot of talk about the Schumann resonance, which is the Earth's natural resonance. And I feel like that we're at science is going to be opening up. I know there's a lot more in this work, and it's something that I'm very passionate about, but understanding the science behind the spiritual concepts and how spirituality and science are actually going to be blended. So, therefore, people are going to be looking at spirituality and going, oh, so it's not just woo woo, there is a real science behind it. So, I feel like what we're actually going into is kind of some form of revolution of like a spiritual revolution per se, but it's as though there's a revolution of thinking, different ways of thinking that incorporates the science as well.
And it will be more science on on the spirituality, on healing. So, and I think the world needs more proof of healing, and
Mhm.
it will be more science. So people easier can understand the way it works, and it's there for everyone to
Yep.
use. And I think also about the animals is that people understand more than ever that the animals have a higher frequency that many people have. And when we are together with the animals, it's higher our frequencies very much
Yeah.
and
I feel
makes us live in the moment more
yeah,
because
and
we are in the future and back in time, and we need to be more here and now.
so this is interesting because it was something that I had been brought into, and I know there's a big increase of awareness of psychedelics and ketamine therapy and mushrooms, and I do feel as though there's actually going to be a more increased awareness of this, especially when it comes to the plant medicine and the way that indigenous people work with the nature that they have around. And so I do feel as though what we're going to see in 2024, and I feel towards the back end of the year, is that there's an increase of, I won't say popularity, not people just going out and getting high, but more of a specific modality to help them go deeper into deep trauma, into deep therapeutic states, into deep wellness, so therefore they can heal, but utilizing the earth's natural energy, the plant kingdom, the solar system, and that's the work that you and I do, you know.
Yes. And I
That's
think it's really a plant for everything in nature. We don't just know all about it yet. And that takes us to nature because I think it will be some huge things that's going on in the nature next year. And
Mhm.
I think also people will get more aware about the changes we need to do to take care of our nature
Mhm.
because it will be in all parts of the world if we don't do any
Yeah,
big changes. What
yeah.
do you think about that, Lisa?
So I kept feeling as though the nature, I feel as though Mother Earth, okay, let's talk about Mother Earth. I feel as though what it does is it creates the natural disasters that happen, the earthquakes and things like that, which we can't escape. So I'm not going to predict a big earthquake because there's always an earthquake that's going to happen. But I feel like what's happening is Mother Earth is actually becoming a little bit more stable. So therefore there's a little bit more of an awareness of the earth's natural energy, the way that we are approaching becoming more in alignment, the way that the brain, the science, the heart coherence, the brain coherence, everything is all working in peace. And I work off the medicine wheel. You know, when we talk about the medicine wheel, there's four elements, and I feel like we're going to find some balance in all of that. You know, balance in the mind, the body, the spirit, the heart. So when we're actually in full balance and full alignment, then we can actually show up as the real people. And one of the things that I have noticed, and I'll just talk very candidly, is that Norwegians, and being in Norway, there's a very beautiful alignment with people. People are so loving. Where I travel the rest of the world, and there's a lot of, it's not so much. And so I feel like you are all going to be, there's going to be this harmonious space where people are going to want to go out and spend time in nature. They're going to want to go to the beaches. They're going to want to just relax. And there's going to be a huge shift into an awareness of relaxation, an awareness of brain science, an awareness of sleep, awareness of making sure that we know what is right for our body, because our body needs to heal. It's going to regenerate, but it actually needs to heal, and what actually how we can do that. So I think there's more shifts to come in that.
And it's like we lived back in time. People lived in Norway much closer to nature, worked in nature. And I think we are going more back to nature to be in that balance you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I think it will be many retreats that bring people back to nature. Few
Yeah.
years ago, people were not that interested in being in nature in that way. It was more yoga and stuff like that, but now it's nature. It's really time to get back to nature.
It is,
So I
because
can't wait for that.
I know, me too, because we live in these little boxes and we have done for years, and we live on Zoom and we live in computers. And I feel like nature, there's a huge healing component in nature.
And it's something really special about the nature in Norway. Many people in Norway think they need to go to India to find themselves, but you don't need to do that because in the mountains, the energy is so powerful. And I have been traveling so much the last years. And every time when I come back to Norway, it's really, the energy is so, in a way, clean,
It is.
balanced,
It's
pure.
so clean.
So it's a good country to work with the spirituality and to find the balance in nature.
Yeah.
And we have everything here, really. The forest, the beaches, the mountains,
Yeah,
everything.
you have it all. And I think it's beautiful. And I feel as though there's more shift into more healing components. I know that's something that I'm doing, but there's more of a shift into the healing components, into help people live the best life that they can. Because I feel like a lot of people, when they were struggling and living in that world where there's lots of EMF and, lots of all of this stuff going on, that people have been struggling to have babies, people are struggling with their health. And when we actually go back into the nature and we start to really be in alignment with where we've come from, all of those issues go.
And I love that you say that about healing, because healing, as most people in Norway know me as a healer, and my passion is healing. And I think this is really the year for people to develop more healing
Mhm.
and really how it might help yourself and others.
I agree. And I feel as though I feel, to be honest with you, I feel like this healing space that we're in is really shifting people's mindsets. They are they're looking at the world in, how now can I go from a pharmaceutical situation, which I feel as though pharmaceutical has a part to play, but how can I make it um more organic, more holistic, more real, more aligned for me. And there's going to be a balance, and so I feel as though there's a real strong shift in that as well. This is really awesome. Yeah,
That's
I'm glad that
really
you're
good.
seeing the same thing.
Love that.
I know. This is fabulous. Oh my gosh. Okay. Do you want to come on to some celebrity stuff?
Yes. And
Okay.
um, I think people really in Norway want to hear something about the royal family.
Okay. All right.
You
So
can start with that.
I'll start with that. So, and because I'm not attached to the royal family, so I think it might be better for me. But so, interestingly enough, I feel like as I tap into the royal family, I can see the beautiful palace in Oslo. I mean, it's just one of my favorite places. What's interesting, I feel as though there's going to be a little shift in the royal family. There's a little bit of a dynamic shift, and I feel like there's going to be something that just rocks the boat. Just, but everything will be fine. But it'll just rock the boat a little bit, and it'll be a little bit shaky for a moment. And once that shakiness stops, it's actually, there's going to be a change, and then everything's going to go as possible. But I think it will actually, um, it might actually, create some people to be a little bit shocked. That's what I
Yes.
feel. You know.
And I need to say also that I feel it's a positive. It will
Yes,
come
very
something
positive.
positive out of it. And I also see Martha Louise is going back to work with organization. She had to stop
Right.
not so long ago because people had something to say about her relationship. But I feel and I see her coming back into that work, helping organizations like handicapped people, and
Oh,
it will be lovely. So she will do something amazing work again.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. And she's such a wonderful person as well. She
Yes,
really is. But I do think
she's.
this change is going to be a really positive thing. It's going to be a
I
really
think it
positive
will
thing.
be positive, but maybe people will be surprised.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
And
Yeah, I agree. So, okay, so we have, just because we have a big singer, and you must have heard of Taylor Swift. She's kind
yes,
of rocking like the whole nation, and there's a lot of talk about her, and so I felt something for her. I don't know why, but I felt something for her, that there was going to be this real shift in her energy. And when I talk about her energy, I feel as though a real shift, and that she's actually going to go quiet. So she may come off tour. I don't know when I don't follow her. But I kept feeling as though her personal life is going to take a real swift turn, and in, again, a very, very positive way, and I love
yes.
it. I don't
But,
know why.
I have heard about her, but I don't know much about her. But it's like she's going under the ground for a while,
Yes.
and suddenly she's back again
Yeah. Yeah.
after a while.
I don't know why I kept seeing her being pregnant.
It's
I
like
don't
a
know.
comeback or
Yeah,
something.
I don't know why. It was very weird. So I just wanted to bring that up.
That's
I just
good.
wanted.
That's fun. And she's really a great singer. So,
Yeah, she is.
and what do you think about Trump? What do you think about him?
Oh, so
So-
I feel here, I feel that he's going to try and make a comeback. So I remember, and I'll just tell you a story. I remember doing a reading for someone, and I remember exactly where I was sitting, and she asked me a couple of years before Trump became elected, is Trump going to be president? And I went, no. And then I went, oh God, he is, and it was one of those moments that I went, oh. Um, but it's funny because as I'm sitting there, I kind of got back into that moment. But I feel that Trump is going to have a lot of issues, which he has had a lot of issues, and I think he's going to um, try to make a presidential comeback. I don't think he's going to.
Do we have anything else we want to
So
share?
I mentioned, when I'm saying mentioned, I've written it down up here. I felt cybersecurity. There was going to be something that needed to be really looked at with regards to cybersecurity and making sure everything is really locked down. And it felt to me as though it was something to do with more financial institutions as well. And I also saw an increase, which I think is the way that we're going anyway, on AI and robots. So I feel as though we're really going to be hitting kind of a point in 2024-25, where AI and the robots industry is really going to take over. So I think we're going to find that there has to be a little bit of a balancing out and kind of coming to terms with how can AI and these robots, or whatever they are, um, drone thing, can actually balance in our society as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
that will be a big change,
It'll be a
really.
big change.
Yes.
But I felt like it was towards the end of next year.
Do you want us to draw one more
Yes.
card?
Why
And we
not?
use Lisa Wiliiams card. I love them. Really love them. I use them a lot in my
Oh,
readings.
this just flew out. Oh, this just flew out. So I'm going to have to go with it. So this is the dawn. All right. So it's new beginnings.
Oh,
So it's new beginnings, new horizons, birth, rejuvenation. So this actually shows me that,
I got the
oh
same card.
my gosh,
It popped out.
you can't make it up. All right, so this is new beginnings. All right, so 2024, we are seeing brand new beginnings, new horizons, new positive influx and energy.
And I also think it says number 2 in the corner, and that's for people to work more together, not
Yep.
only. And the color is for healing too, spiritual color. So that's really nice. Of all these cards, this one popped.
Amazing. Amazing. Can you believe that? I love it. I love it. I think we're on to something here,
But
Torunn.
I think it will be a great year when I see the whole year, because it will do so much about, it will bring so much healing and love, and people take better care of the animals,
Yep.
and countries supporting each other. So the whole picture is really good.
It
But
is.
we
It
need
is
to go
really good.
through some heavy stuff too, of course.
What's interesting is at the end of every year, everyone says, "Oh, it's been a real tough year." But what we forget is we forget the good parts. We only think about all the negative that has happened because it outweighs everything. So I encourage people to always see the positive in the year. We can't change that there may have been some negative, but always see the positive. So I feel as though it's going to be a good year.
And it's a good learning process for all of us.
Yeah,
So thank you,
absolutely.
Lisa. Thank
You're
you for working
welcome.
with me.
Absolutely. I love it.